Well, we got a quick one this week. Aces Wild, week 8. Getting ready to leave the house and wanted to get this in quickly. So, let's get started around the league. We have 2 teams at 5-2, 4 teams at 4-3, 4 teams at 3-4, and 2 teams at 2-5. So we're still stacked kind of in groups that are pretty even there. We had an injury bonanza this week, mostly to Rob's team with Bradford, Cutler, and Reggie Wayne all going down with significant injuries. Also, Doug Martin hurt. So we had some crazy activity on the waiver wire. $79 bid from Quay for Mike James. Wow. He's down to $0 now, along with Richie. $47 bid for Josh McCown from Pimpus. So he's secured another quarterback. He actually picked up another one after that with the Jason Campbell pickup, who will be starting this week for the Browns. $16 pickup for Colin Clemens, so he's got another starter at the Rams. He also paid $20 for Hayward Bay, so I guess he thinks with Wayne going down, there's going to be some good points coming from Hayward Bay. And $17 for Chris Ivory this week from Pimpus after he had an increased workload last week with the Jets. So that leaves the person with the most waiver wire money, Tyler, with $75. So hypothetically, he can win any bid he wants, which he might need, as he is the worst team in the league. Speaking of, it's time now to move quickly into this week's Power Rankings. Okay, Power Rankings. Number 12, Tyler Vordenberg. He's got 4 losses in a row. He has the worst running back tandem in the league and the lowest points. Enough said there. Number 11, Richie. He was 11 last week. He has Brady and 3 New England receivers on his team, so he's very dependent on that New England passing game, which has not looked great. And we think he made a nice pickup with Boykin. Number 10, Dave Warner. He's dropping a spot from last week, but he did have a stabilizing trade by adding Geno Smith, Lacey, and Alshon Jeffrey for Megatron. So losing a stud, but getting, Lacey can get a stud. He gets a quarterback back in a desperate situation, and Jeffrey's been pretty solid. So that might work out for both sides there, that trade with Pimpus. Number 9 is Tim, Andrew Pedenpole. He is moving up a spot from 10 last week. He is down to 3 QBs with Vic playing again. So he really needs to pick the right ones each week, is how I'm feeling. And Harry Douglas definitely showing up to be a worthwhile scoop there by him, so that helps his receivers. Number 8 is the infirmary that we like to call Rob Zirkel's team. Cutler, Bradford, and Wayne. Ouch. Tough to watch all those happen and know that that's the same owner. Sorry for you, Rob. We're going to talk to you a little bit later in the program about that. You definitely need receiver and QB help now. Number 7, staying at 7 from last week's myself, Dave H. I really need to get Roddy White healthy, and this is also my first QB bye week, so I'm going to play Chad Henne for the first time all year. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he can score more than the 1 offensive touchdown I believe he scored this year. I do play Richie, so that always helps. Number 6, Kyle Fallhaver, moving up from number 8 last week. He still has 4 QBs, even maybe 5 now with Colin Clemens that are starters. MJD is bad, Jags are bad, but Forte is so good this year. And Kyle's team's still really solid, and he can make trades with those 4 or 5 starting QBs he has. Number 5, dropping 2 spots from number 3 last week, is Connor McPeak. He did lose, but he will have Vic back this week from all indications. And he went 1-1 while Vic was out, so not terrible at all to not even start a QB for those 2 weeks and have that to go 1-1. And he has the 3rd most points in the league. Number 4, holding strong at 4, is Alex Quay. He needs some running back 2 help badly, and he also doesn't have a quarterback playing this week, I believe. But he did pick up Mike James from Martin and spent the $79 on that. So that'll fill that hole, and that's a tough blow after just trading Moreno for AJ Green. So he'll be a little bit handcuffed for the rest of the season. Number 3, Cece, moving up 2 spots from number 5 last week. This guy has a loaded roster. He has tons of bench people that I would start, honestly. He has 4 wins in a row. It's piping hot. So, he moves into the 3rd spot. Number 2, Jonathan Pimpus. This guy's got Megatron, Sean Jackson, and Garcon starting at receiver. Cecil Shorts as a reserve. This is definitely the best receiver core in the league now, and he has the most points overall in the league. So he's holding strong at number 2 from last week. The number 1 player this week is indeed the man who is getting married this week, Paul Sinquina, staying there at number 1 from last week. He racked up another win on his streak of 5 in a row right now. He made a blockbuster trade acquiring Moreno to solidify his somewhat weak running backs. So, and Le'Veon Bell, looked good this week. So Moreno and Bell will be his running backs going forward. He does lose AJ Green. But 5 wins in a row. Paul, congratulations. And from all of us at Ace Spades, best of luck this week and in your future with Faye. Very happy for you. Well, I got some bad news. Don't have a fortune-telling segment this week. Jonathan Pimpus stood me up, and unfortunately, since I'm traveling this week, I do not have any time to do anything else, nor change the graphics. So I figured I would just lay it all at John's blame. So if you have anything to say to him for losing a 5th of this show, you can tweet him at Jonathan Pimpus. All right, this week we are joined with a longtime member of the Ace of Spades Club. This is our friend in the desert, Robert Zirkel. He is the owner of Cocaine Cowboys. Good to have you here today, Rob.
Good talking to you today, Dave.
We had to get you on this week because it was Sunday, Bloody Sunday. So let's just start real quickly with you running through your team, and I know it'll probably change a lot in the next few days as you have many holes now, but just give us a kind of rundown on what you're working with.
We're like you said, this team's drastically probably going to change over the next couple days. We were really strong at quarterback most of the year, playing mostly with Cutler and Bradford, who surprisingly has put up numbers even though he's on a horrible team. We've had Carson Palmer as our backup quarterback the last couple of weeks. Drafted him as hoping to be a pure number 1 guy, but he's been horrible, just horrible. Wide receivers I felt have been pretty strong. Brandon Marshall, always good, consistently putting up numbers for me. Reggie Wayne I picked up in a trade from Tim when I traded him Alex Smith, who I picked up during the draft for very cheap. As you know, he's out for the year now, as well as Bradford, and it looks like Cutler's going to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. Most of the experts out there are saying upwards of 8. So definitely not looking like I'm going to have him coming back anytime this year for fantasy relevance. Running back went really weak, hoping Ridley would kind of solidify that job and be the go-to guy there in New England. Looked good last week when I put up the high score, but again this week got in the end zone, got me 50 yards, but Belichick just can't make up his mind there. Took a big gamble on the tight end with Gronkowski. Hopefully I can finally start getting some dividends on that, although I made up great at the beginning of the year with Owen Daniels. But again, he went down to injury, ended up picking up Fleener off the waiver wire. Hopefully he can fill in there during bye week for Gronk, but hopefully Gronk gets back to full strength this week.
Tell me a little bit about your experience in the league the last, it's been, you might have been in since the very beginning, I think, actually. So this is our 10th season together. Yeah. What do you think about this league?
I love this league. It's one of the most competitive ones I'm in. As you know, I do some pretty high dollar leagues down here. Living in Vegas, I got nothing better to do. But this is by far one of the most challenging leagues I have year after year. A lot of that has to do with the composition of how many players we get. You know, you got to start the 2 quarterbacks. My strategy's always kind of been the same year after year. Make sure you always have 2 good starting quarterbacks, and make sure you have at least 1 decent backup, because you never know who could go down at any point in time. I know a couple of weeks ago on Aces Wild, you showed a point chart as to who's been finishing the best, and you know, I'm up at the top. What can I say? I'm good.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You've in 9 seasons, you've medaled 4 times, so finishing in the top third, and 2. You and I are the only ones with 2 first place finishes. So you've had continued success. So you're doing something right. This year just might be a little challenging for you as we end out. But hey, you're 4-3, and you know, anything could happen as long as you make the playoffs. Yeah,
and right now that's my goal. I know we got the poo-poo guru down there at the bottom. Never really concerned with Richie. He's horrible every year. His son, though, Connor, looks like a strong candidate. Kyle is always good. You know, Paul seems to be his year. You know, the guy's lucky he's getting married soon. I mean, you know how that is.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just hoping to get back to the top so I can medal to get me 1 more point up on that leaderboard.
Is there a trade possibility at this point for you? Maybe mortgaging some skill players for a quarterback, or are you just going to try to see what the waiver wire has?
Well, I'm going to see what pans out on the waiver wire first. As far as my skill players go, I mean, I got to have somebody to contend with. You know, I've won with worse, I think. Maybe not much worse, but it's close. We'll definitely see how the waivers go tonight, and if I don't get the guy that I want, then you may be getting a call for Freeman, who I dropped not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't know what he's worth these days, but he is starting and he is healthy, so that's a step up over Bradford and Cutler.
Yeah. I mean, I got the Blue Cross Blue Shield team at this point.
One last question. There's a long-standing rivalry that really hasn't ever been explained between you and Richie, the guru of Dew. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, it all started over a trade. Now, I don't remember how long ago, but I know it's been at least a couple of years. He was trying to get Mark Bulger off of me. In a heavy QB league, so you know you got to emphasize the value, and he was just offering me some junk, and I would counter back with like his best player. So, and then at some point he called me a young child or something to the effect. I don't really remember what was said at this point. I just know something was said that offended me, and that's all you get.
All right, Rob. Well, appreciate your time with us today, and best of luck as you move forward. Hopefully the waiver wire has something good for you tonight, and hopefully injuries stay away from the team for the rest of the season for you.
Yeah, well, can't be any worse than Jay Cutler, who broke his dick on Sunday. So.
All right, take care, buddy.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
This week's Tweet of the Week comes to us from the man we just heard from, Robert Zirkel, who apparently just learned how to use Twitter. His first tweet said, "Well, so much for making sure you have plenty of QBs. Went from 5 to 3 and now to 1. And as we all know, 1 QB in this league doesn't even fill out your starting lineup. So that will be tough. We'll see what he does this week and how he fares in the future moving forward without Cutler and Bradford. All right, guys. Sorry for the abbreviated version this week. I just really need to get out of town and go celebrate with my boy Paul. So I hope you tweet us so that we have more to talk about next week at Ace of Spades FF, and I will see you on the digital gridiron. where all your football fantasies can come